And here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, all of you, to Lyndhurst Community News. Today is Wednesday, March 13th, and this is episode 47. I'm Brian Haggerty, and here's what's happening around Lyndhurst this week. But before we begin, make sure to send in any news that you may have for your club, your church, school, organization, sport, event, as well as birthdays and anniversaries of note and engagements. Haven't gotten any engagements yet, but we've had the birthdays and we've had anniversaries. So don't be ashamed to send them in, folks. That's why we're here. Email them in to lyndhurstcommunitynews@gmail.com, and you'll find that email address as well as any other contact information that we give out during these episodes. You can find that in the description box below the video on YouTube, though. You have to be watching it on YouTube to see it. Okay, now this is quite a short news week. I have a few new things for you, but mostly just reminders of some upcoming events so you don't forget. But I have an amazing story for you. I'm going to save it to the end, of course, because it's about two Lyndhurst High School graduates from the class of 2005 who partnered together to create a company which is designing video editing software, which uses artificial intelligence, AI. Now, something most of you have probably been hearing about. You probably don't know much about it. I'm going to tell you something about it. I'm going to play something for you. But getting back to what these guys are doing, they're going to be able to, with this, and they're partnering and working with unbelievable developers, people who work with Apple and other top tech companies. They're going to be able to create this software that will effortlessly and easily create any kind of production, any movie, anything you want, content. So much so that a 90-year-old can do it. So much so that I could do it. It's literally incredible. So as I say, stay tuned at the end because I will get into that story and I'll play that clip for you, which will, I think, blow your minds. Frankly, it blew my mind. So that's at the end. But in the meantime, once again, I want to congratulate Carol Wilson for winning the $100 Home Depot gift card. Now, her name was pulled by Vinny Mutz in the drawing that we held, which was last week. And, of course, last month was the entire trivia contest. Each week, I asked trivia questions about Lyndhurst, and each correct answer earned the person an entry for the prize drawing. Now, as I said, we're going to continue with this, but the idea being that the giveaways will come from Lyndhurst local merchants, but we have to get all that together and organized before we do. But in the meantime, due to popular demand, I'm going to keep giving you Lyndhurst trivia questions. There's no prizes this month, but some of you are telling me you're having a great deal of fun doing it, and you're kind of getting into some competitions with one another to see who got it right. And so we're going to keep that up this week due to, as I say, popular demand. Now we'll start off with some reminders. And, of course, Sunday is St. Patrick's Day, so that means there's a lot of St. Patrick's Day events going on around town. So don't forget tomorrow, being Thursday, the American Legion is hosting its corned beef and cabbage night. And there's, you got to get there early because once the corned beef is gone, that's it. But then this Saturday, both the Polish American Club and Our Lady of Mount Carmel are both hosting St. Patrick's Day and St. Joseph's Day events at their locations. If you want more information, just go back and listen to last week's episode. All the contact information is there, as well as information as what takes place at these great affairs. And if you haven't had enough corned beef and cabbage this week, well then save up your appetite for Thursday, March 28th, which is going to be the Lyndhurst High School football beefsteak. It begins at 6:30. And it goes till 10:30. The cost is $50 per person. And, of course, the dinner is provided by the famous Nightingale Caterers. We all know them. If you do a beefsteak, they're the company you want to use. They are the best. We've never been disappointed with them. Now, this will be held at the Lyndhurst Senior Building at 250 Cleveland Avenue. You have to make sure, though, you purchase the tickets by March 21st. They need to give a head count to Nightingale, so this way we always have enough beef for everyone. And to reserve a table or tickets, you can email the lftdclub@gmail.com. I'll leave that in the description. You can pay by cash or Venmo. I'll leave all that in the description. And, of course, if you have any questions, Call 201-419-2799. All proceeds go, of course, to the football club. And another reminder, Joe Shinnick has asked that each week I remind all the listeners about the upcoming seminar, which is called Hidden in Plain Sight. It's presented by the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources. Now, this very important presentation will focus on what parents can learn about everyday items that may be indicators of risky behavior and or drug use for their preteen or teenager. It's going to include a mock teenage bedroom that parents and caregivers can inspect to understand what may be truly hidden in plain sight. Because, folks, a lot of times you may see something and have absolutely no idea why it's there or what it represents. And this very important seminar will arm parents or grandparents with the knowledge necessary to pick up on the early signs before a serious abuse situation or drug addiction takes hold of that young child's life. Now, this will be held April 10th at 6:30 at the Lyndhurst High School Auditorium, and you can enter through the auditorium doors. No need to reserve any seats. Just show up. And don't forget, if you're like me and you like to book your calendars ahead of time so that you see everything that's coming for the coming month, don't forget about the AARP Kingsland Lyndhurst chapter 4866 is having a fundraiser Friday, April 5th. Doors open at 5 o'clock. And at this fundraiser, there will be the band called Party of Five, who will be singing and performing songs of the 50s and 60s. Now, it's a BYOB, and you bring your own food, but the cost is only $30 a person, and that's going to give you the ability to dance the night away to the songs of your youth. This will be held at the Senior Building at 250 Cleveland Avenue. If you're interested, contact Marge at 201-935-5167 to reserve your tickets. Now, I know that those of you who've lived in town a long time know that we have a volunteer fire department. We are not too many towns left. I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Where it's very difficult to get volunteers these days, especially because now the training required to become a volunteer fireman is becoming very, very intensive, and most people just don't have the time because the classes are at night, and if you're young and you have a young family, it's very difficult to make all these classes for the amount of training that is now required. But it's important that we support our local volunteers. And we also do have a volunteer first aid squad. We have daytime paid medics during the day. Obviously, God forbid somebody need an emergency, we need to have people around during the day. But we always want to thank our volunteers. But I'm happy to report that the fire department has reported that they were given a $75,000 grant from the American Rescue Plan Firefighters Grant. And this is going to be used for the procurement of personal protective gear for our firefighters. This grant will greatly assist them as they continue to recruit new volunteers, and the Township of Lyndhurst has been professionally staffed by volunteer firefighters since 1886. Now, if you or someone you know is interested in volunteering and you are committed, contact the Lyndhurst Fire Department. They're definitely looking for more volunteers. We don't have as many as we used to, folks. A lot of the older guys are, they get older, they can't carry the heavy equipment. But, we don't have the numbers of younger people who can do the heavy lifting, so to speak, anymore. So support them. And if you, obviously, not everybody can be a volunteer, but support them in any way, shape, or way that you can, especially monetarily. Give them a check once a year. It is greatly appreciated by the fire department, I can tell you that. All right, now this coming Sunday, which is St. Patrick's Day, is also the day of our monthly scholarship breakfast at the American Legion. Now, it's going to be different, though, because this month, in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, it's going to be a St. Patrick's Day brunch. They're going to be serving green waffles and ice cream, chicken and or ham, as well as regular waffles, and offering festive drinks. Now, this is going to be at slightly different hours. This is going to begin at 10 a.m. It will end at 12:30 p.m. As usual, it's only $10 a person, and you can eat in or you can take out. So make sure, whatever you're doing on Sunday, begin your day by coming down to the American Legion for a very Irish breakfast. That's this Sunday, 217 Webster Avenue, right here in Lyndhurst. All right, now on to the story that I promised in the beginning I was going to get into at the end. So as I said, 2 Lyndhurst high school graduates from the class of 2005 by the names of Gasper Shiramonte and Michael Morello. Now, they live out on the West Coast. Of course, their hearts are still here in Lyndhurst, as well as their families. So now what they did, they came together. Now, these are 2 guys with a lot of experience in that world, in the world of video production, editing. As a matter of fact, Gasper was one of the editors for American Idol, as well as many award-winning series, Masked Singer, Chelsea Lately, The Late Show, The Late Late Show, and Lee Ramini's Emmy Award-winning Scientology series. Michael Morello has 8+ years of Hollywood-level assistant director experience for Fox, Pilgrim Media, Lighthearted Entertainment, ITV, and more. So these 2, recognizing what many are, that the future is artificial intelligence. It's already upon us, by the way. It's not something that's far away, and I'm going to play something for you that's going to blow your mind. Now, they recognize, as so many people in Hollywood and in the entertainment business do, that AI is going to change everything, especially in Hollywood. It's going to change the way movies are made. As a matter of fact, you're going to be able to see movies, once again, with deceased greats, like some of the greatest stars from years ago who are no longer with us. You're going to see them and hear them as if they were still living in a new movie. This is something that is already possible. So it's going to literally change the world. Now, they figured, well, hey, we see what's coming. Why not, or why should we be the victims of what's coming where we could possibly lose the positions we have? Why don't we get ahead of the curve and try to form our own business? And that's exactly what they did. And they brought in some of the top-tiered people who work with Apple, Adobe, and Google as their developers. And they've got a lot of great people. They're guided by Michael Phillips, the avid media composer, co-inventor, and Oscar of Tech laureate, to produce what's going to be a cutting-edge video editing app. And it's going to be making movie production so easy that a child can do it, or somebody who's elderly. If you think that video editing is something you couldn't do, because most people can't, this is going to make it so ridiculously easy, you're not even going to believe it. Now, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad that could come with AI, but I want to focus mostly on the good. I'll give you a few warnings about some of the bad, just so you could have a heads up. But first, I'm going to play for you an audio recording that Gasper had sent to me. Now, this is an AI creation. It's actually my voice. What he did is he ripped my voice from these podcasts, and he had the AI read their commercial script using my voice. Now, he did it in 30 seconds. It didn't take long. Now, had he spent a little more time on it, he would have gotten a larger sample of my voice, which would have made it sound 100%. But I would say that the voice is probably 93%. Sounds a little bit sped up in the beginning, but the word flow, the way I enunciate, the way I pronounce words, it's all there. And remember, folks, this is not me. This is AI, artificial intelligence. Are you ready? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Brian, it's me, the AI clone of Brian Haggerty. It's clear to us that AI, while immensely powerful, carries significant risks if mismanaged. We believe in preempting governmental regulation by establishing industry-wide standards to ensure responsible use of AI technologies. For instance, implementing metadata tagging for AI-generated content and rigorously regulating AI-generated voices are steps we advocate for. Such measures are crucial, not only for harnessing AI's potential, but also for safeguarding against its misuse. Novella is committed to making impactful advances within ethical boundaries. Unfortunately, not all tech companies share our commitment to moral integrity, heightening my resolve to succeed with Novella. But always remember, the best way to predict the future is to invent it.
Okay, this is actually me now. The real Brian Haggerty. What did you think of that? I know it doesn't sound 100%, and as I said, it took him 30 seconds. He told me, he said, had I gotten a larger sample, in other words, if he got more recordings of my voice and fed all of those samples, the AI would then learn to sound completely like me. That's amazing, isn't it? Now, by the way, I already knew about this. I wasn't expecting him to send this to me, but I was aware of what AI can do. And it's going to change the world. And it's not that it's coming, as I say, a couple of years from now. It's already here. Many of you are already familiar with what's called ChatGPT, which is changing everything. I've used ChatGPT. It is amazing. You ask the AI a question, you could have it do anything. I asked it to create a couple of business plans for me, and it did in 3 minutes. You feed it, the more information you feed it, the more it will give you. It's absolutely astounding. And then, of course, Twitter, which is now called X, Elon Musk released his own version of this technology called Grok, which, of course, he's allowing this to be open source. And open source means that anybody can have access to the code and can improve upon it, amend it, and make it better. So this is astounding. And as I said, you can go on YouTube right now. There are artificial intelligence videos where Frank Sinatra is singing new songs, and it sounds just like Sinatra. And again, by feeding the AI all of these recordings, it learns exactly how greats such as Sinatra sounded. So you can find Sinatra and many others. And as I say, you're going to see new movies coming out that are starring the greats from yesteryear as if they're back from the grave. And you will not be able to notice a difference. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Now, this is quite scary because government is not really as typical. Their government moves slowly, so regulation that's going to provide protections for this are going to be very slow coming, which is why Gasper and Mike in this company want to be the leaders of that. They want to make sure that there is a framework that is created that is going to protect the public, because I've got news for you folks. The stuff's all over the internet now. Have you come across pictures that are floating out there? Maybe you're on Instagram, maybe Twitter, Facebook. Photographs of things that you say to yourself, what is this? Of people posed with aliens. I know there's a lot of black and white photographs that look like they were taken back in the late 1800s. And they have like these weird creatures in them that look like cryptids or as I say, aliens or giants or Sasquatch. And they look 100% real, but they're not. They're completely AI generated. And the average person has no idea how to tell the difference or how to spot them. There's already videos on that I'm seeing of whether it be Joe Biden or Donald Trump saying things that are not real. It's their image, their voice, but they never said it. Now, that's going to be on the rise, especially as we head into the fall with the election coming. I think it's going to get to the point where people won't even know what's real and what isn't. You're not going to be able to know. So what problems will that present? Many ones. And in the hands of nefarious people, in the meantime, this can be quite a bit of trouble. Another thing, one of the dangerous things that are out there being used, which everyone should be aware of, is that they're able to use AI to produce or reproduce the voices of your loved ones, call you on the telephone with that loved one's voice, begging you to send them money because they're in an emergency, or they've been arrested, or whatever the case may be, kidnapped, ransom, whatever it is. They can do that, and it's happening already. So just be aware of these things. There are plenty of nefarious people out there. And having come from politics, even though I'm thankfully retired from that, I could just see the horrible things that could be done, especially in campaigns, to try to frame your opponent, to make it seem that your opponent said something that he or she did not. And I know some people capable of doing those things. But just be forewarned, because to be forewarned is forearmed. But at least we know that we've got two great guys from Lyndhurst who both said to me their heart is still here, and they're thankful to Lyndhurst High School for growing up in this town, because they say that that's what made them who they are to this day. They're proud. They're hard workers. They can't wait to succeed here with this and give back, because I think this is going to be a huge, huge success. As a matter of fact, they put up the to get the seed money to start this. They did a funding campaign called We Fund It, I think is what the name of the platform is. They were the second most popular platform. I mean, the second most popular company fundraiser on that platform. They surpassed their initial fundraising goal. They're going to do a second round, and they're going to turn this into one of the biggest things. And they're going to take a lemon that was handed to them, and they're going to make lemonade. So we wish them the best of luck with this. We didn't have enough time to get an interview with them. We're going to do that in the future, so you'll be able to hear from them and hear from them directly. But that's what's coming, folks. It's amazing. It's scary, but it could also be fantastic. We just need to get ahead of it, get it so that it's not going to be able to be used to fool people, because unfortunately in this world, most people, I believe, are inherently good and honest. 95% of the public. They're all wonderful people. But there are always going to be those few people, and they're the ones. They're the bad guys. So we got to get ahead of this, and to be forewarned, rather, is forearmed. So get ready. It's coming. Okay, and that is the news for this week. As I said, it was a short news week. Nothing really new, just some reminders and some other things floating around. But I think that AI thing is certainly giving everybody something, a wake-up call, to be aware that you're not going to be able to believe what you see or what you hear, because it's that good, it's that real, and it's that fake. Anyway, this is Brian Haggerty reminding you that a community is not its roads, houses, or buildings. A community is its people. Make sure you get to know your neighbors. Support your local merchants as best as you can. Let's keep Lyndhurst the wonderful community it always has been. Okay, folks, I'll see you here next week. Have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, and may you all have a wonderfully blessed week. God bless Lyndhurst. God bless you. Take care, everybody.